what happens is he realizes that he should actually work for other people to help them to get to this place. So he starts teaching. And he breaks his teachings down into 4 noble truths. Okay, so I've written them up here. Basically, we're going to know a lot of these words. You will know a lot of these words. The first truth, okay, now in a lot of words that are used in Buddhism are Sanskrit words spelled a little differently. And you're like, what? The language he spoke is called Pali, P-A-L-I, which is related to Sanskrit but not exactly the same. So Duḥkha in Pali is D-U-K-K-H-A, and Duḥkha in Sanskrit is D-U-H-K-H-A. So that's why you see these words kind of spelled interchangeably. Anyway, however you spell it, the first noble truth is Duḥkha. Okay, I'm going to unpack this for you. I'm just going to tell you the words. Now, the next one we don't know yet, I don't think. Samudaya means the root cause, okay, the root of suffering. I'll explain it more, I just want to get the words. The third one we know, Chit Vritti Nirodha. Third one is Nirodha, so suffering can cease. Okay, so there is an end to suffering. I think we used the word Mārga the other day for something. It means a path, but in Pali it's called Mārga. Okay, M-A-G-G-A, the path. Okay, so what do all those words mean? Basically, okay, here it is. The best way to think about it is going to the doctor. Doctor, I got an issue, I don't feel so good. Well, what's your issue feel like? Well, when I don't get what I want, I don't feel so good, and when I get what I want, it gets pulled away from me and I don't feel good. And I'm really afraid of losing people I love and my Bitcoin. And the doctor says, oh, I know that. I've seen this before. It's called suffering. You got a case of suffering. Huh. What's that caused by? What's that caused by?
Attachment.
Oh yeah, okay. Okay, we're gonna get to attachment, sure. But even backing up a step to words you know, like I'm just telling you, this is reconstructed Lego blocks. What's avidya? Mistaken knowledge, right? Mistaken knowledge, like you are actually mistaken about your ego. But I mean, like now I'm talking ego, not even personality, like I'm talking about that you actually have a self. Like again, we're going beyond grammar. If you took a car, stripped off the tires, stripped off the roof, stripped off the steering wheel, at what point is it no longer a car? It's an interesting question. I don't know the exact answer, but at one point you'd probably stop calling it a car, right? So the whole point of things is that there's what we call aggregates. Okay, like you put 4 tires on something, you put an axle, put these doors on it, you put a thing, oh, you put it all together, oh, that's a car. But there's nothing really that's a car once you start taking it apart. So this thing you know called a self is actually quite deconstructable.
Collection of atoms that agreed to stay together.
It's a collection of atoms that agreed to stay together very temporarily. And you might think you're the same person as when you were really young, but what is exactly the same? Like, when you think of who you were when you were 7, there's no part of you that's that person anymore. But you have a sense of self that you go through life as, like, I'm the same self that's just gone through and gotten older and more wrinkles and whatever. But that's an illusion. Your brain is just a whole stream of sensations and interpretations and perceptions, but there's actually there's no there. There's no self actually there. So it's like, not just, it's kind of goes a step deeper than what we talked about the Yoga Sutras. It's not just your ego self or your personality. It's like the whole thing gets dismantled, which leaves you with just this present moment stream of consciousness. This is where the real be present school comes from, long before Eckhart Tolle. Power of now, this is it originally. There is no self that exists. That is an illusion. It is just a flowing stream of consciousness. And we mistakenly, avidya, call that us. And if you can deconstruct that thing we call a self, then in the process, fear, anger, desires are going to go with it. Because there's no self there. You're a ghost. Do you get it? So, the cause is, okay, so you suffer. The cause is you're too stuck on yourself. You think the self is real. Now, that's not to say bodies aren't real and you're not real, but your concept of you is made up.
Glad my doctor doesn't say that when I go.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the next one, Nirodha, right? So I'm suffering. I'm suffering because, okay, I have this self. Maybe we're going that far, but that self is full of, I think what Beth was saying, fear and desire. But even deeper, I'm not even really a self that's there. Well, doctor, is this curable? Or do I just have to live with it? You know, there's many things you go to the doctor and you're like, you got herpes? You just have to live with it, right? You know, you can't, there's no cure. Sorry. Is this curable? Yes, there is a cure. Why? What's that?
Go to the Bodhi tree.
Well, you don't have to go to the Bodhi tree because someone did it for you. Buddha. So that's the whole point, because he got past this illusion of the self, and in the process went past his fear and his desires and all his suffering and found this clear state of mind. If he can do it, and he's not a god, he's just a regular dude like you can do it. So there is a way. It's curable. Yes.